Hey everyone, today we're looking at the best budget smartwatches you can buy right now. I'm breaking down the ones that truly stand out. Whether you want a watch with long battery life, a stylish design, seamless iPhone integration, or an all-round solid performer, there's something here for you. Let's jump in. Starting off with the CMF Watch 3 Pro, which really caught my attention this year because Nothing's sub-brand has finally decided to polish up the rough edges of the Watch Pro 2. The first thing you notice when you strap this on is the upgraded 1.43-inch AMOLED display. It's noticeably punchier than the previous generation, hitting a peak brightness that actually holds up under direct sunlight, which was a bit of a struggle with the older models. The design language still screams tech industrial, but the aluminium alloy casing gives it a slightly more expensive feel than the price tag suggests. In terms of performance, CMF has leaned heavily into the software experience. The interface is buttery smooth, running at a locked 60 Hz, and the integration with the Nothing ecosystem really feels tighter now, especially if you're using a Nothing phone. The headline feature here is the dual-band GPS, which locks onto satellites significantly faster than the Pro 2. For runners, that means your route tracking won't look like you've been zigzagging through buildings anymore. Battery life is another strong suit, easily pulling around 13 days of typical use, so you aren't tethered to a charger every night. However, it's not without compromises. Although it comes at a lower cost of around $63, there is still no NFC for contactless payments, which might be a deal breaker if you're used to leaving your wallet at home. The haptics are also a bit more basic. They're fine for alerts, but they lack the refined, tap-like feel of a more expensive Apple or Huawei options. Still, if you love the aesthetics of the Pro 2 but wanted better GPS and a brighter screen, the CMF Watch 3 Pro is the best value upgrade you can make right now. Next up, we have the Amazfit Active 2, and honestly, this might be the biggest surprise of the lineup because they've completely flipped the script on the design. Moving away from the rectangular Apple Watch clone look of the original Active, the second iteration features a stunning 1.32-inch round AMOLED display. It's elegant, sleek, and feels much more like a traditional timepiece on your wrist. The stainless steel body option really elevates it, making it look at home with a suit jacket or gym wear, comfortably taking the title for the most stylish watch on this list. Under the hood, the performance improvements are substantial. The screen brightness now peaks at a blinding 2000 nits, making it readable pretty much anywhere. One major win here is the inclusion of offline maps with turn-by-turn directions, a feature usually reserved for much pricier Pro or Ultra adventure watches. It's running on the updated Zepp OS, which feels snappy, and the new 5PD biosensor is noticeably quicker at picking up heart rate changes during interval training compared to the CMF Watch 3 Pro we just looked at. You're also looking at a solid 10 days of battery life, which destroys the Apple Watch SE's endurance. The main downside is the proprietary operating system. While Zepp OS has grown, it still lacks the rich third-party app support you get with Apple or Google. You can't just download Spotify and go, you're stuck with the built-in solutions. Also, while the shift to a round face is stylish, some users might find text notifications harder to read compared to the old square format. Coming in at a starting price of $90 for the silicon strap version and jumping up to $110 for the premium leather options, this is squarely for the person who values aesthetics just as much as functionality. If you want a watch that doesn't look like a computer on your wrist, but still tracks your runs with precision, the Active 2 is your winner. Moving over to the Apple camp, we have the Apple Watch SE 3, and Apple has finally addressed the biggest complaints about the previous generation. It's still that familiar rectangle we all know, but inside it's now running the S10 chip, the same silicon found in the Apple Watch Ultra 3. That means buttery smooth performance, plus you now get double tap and wrist flick gestures that were previously locked to pricier models. The haptics from the digital crown remain the gold standard that brands like Huawei and Amazfit are still trying to match. The biggest upgrade is the always-on display, which was the glaring omission on the SE2. You no longer have to flick your wrist just to check the time. Health tracking has also taken a leap forward with wrist temperature sensing, sleep apnea notifications, and sleep score tracking. Fast charging is new here too. 15 minutes gets you up to 8 hours of battery, which is a lifesaver. And of course, the ecosystem integration is still unmatched. Apple Pay, seamless notifications, and a full app store right on your wrist that no third-party watch on iOS can compete with. The downside is still battery life. It's rated at 18 hours, so you're charging every single day. Every other watch on this list crushes it here. At around $220 for the 40mm and $249 for the 44mm, it's the most expensive pick here. But for iPhone users who want the smartest, most seamless experience and can live with daily charging, the SE3 is it. Now, if the Apple Watch's battery life stressed you out, the Amazfit Bip 6 solves that problem. This is the latest iteration of Amazfit's entry-level hero, and they've gone huge. Literally, the display has bumped up to a massive 1.97-inch AMOLED, which is slightly larger than the Bip 5's 1.91-inch screen. It is big, bright, and makes reading notifications or checking your running stats incredibly easy at a glance. It's not trying to be subtle. It's a productivity machine on your wrist. The performance story here starts and ends with endurance. We are talking about up to 14 days of battery life with typical use. And if you turn on the battery saver mode, you can squeeze out nearly 26 days. That's nearly a month without touching a charger. It runs a lighter version of Zepp OS, which keeps things snappy, and despite the lower price, the GPS tracking is surprisingly competent, holding its own against the more expensive Huawei Watch Fit 4 in open environments. There are some cost-cutting measures you should know about. The build is undeniably plastic. It doesn't have the premium, cool-to-the-touch feel of the Active 2 or the CMF Watch 3 Pro. Also in a move citing sustainability, Amazfit has stopped including the charging cable in the box, so you only get the base, which is annoying if you don't have a spare USB-C setup ready to go. The vibration motor also feels a bit buzzier and cheaper compared to the tighter haptics of the Apple Watch. However, at just around $70, this is the undisputed king of utility. This watch is for the practical user who wants a set-it-and-forget-it device. If you prioritize screen real estate and battery life over premium materials and app stores, the Bip 6 is the best workhorse you can strap to your wrist. Finally, we have the Huawei Watch Fit 4, which takes the crown for the best overall balance of everything we've talked about today. Huawei has refined the Fit concept to perfection with this generation. You're getting a gorgeous 1.82-inch AMOLED display that is incredibly sharp, but the real upgrade is the brightness, hitting 2000 nits on the standard model and a wild 3000 nits on the Pro version. The design is ultra thin, blending the line between a fitness band and a premium smartwatch, making it significantly more comfortable to sleep with than the chunkier CMF Watch 3 Pro. Performance is stellar across the board. The heart rate and sleep tracking algorithms are among the best in the business, often matching dedicated chest straps in accuracy during steady-state cardio. The UI is fluid, colourful, and packed with animations that make the watch feel alive. It also manages to keep a roughly 10-day battery life while supporting rapid charging. A quick 10-minute charge gets you through a full day, which is a lifesaver if you forgot to plug it in. The downsides are mostly regional. Depending on where you live, getting third-party apps to play nice can be a headache, and the voice assistant features are limited compared to Siri on the Apple Watch. Also, unlike the standard 22mm lugs on the CMF or Amazfit Active 2, the strap mechanism here is proprietary, so you can't just swap in any band you have lying around. You have to buy specific fit-compatible straps. Priced around $130, it sits right in the sweet spot. It feels more premium than the BIP 6, has better battery life than the Apple Watch SE, and offers more advanced health metrics than the CMF Watch 3 Pro. This is for the person who wants a do-it-all device, premium build, great screen, and accurate health tracking without paying flagship prices. It is, simply put, the most well-rounded smartwatch you can buy in 2026. So there you have it, the best budget smartwatches you can buy right now, no matter what you're looking for. If you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to check the links below for the latest deals and let me know which smartwatch you're leaning towards. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.